We have defensive coordinator Lance Guidry. We'll go straight into questions for Coach.
What stood out most to you about Ruben Bain's performance?
Just how he manhandled him, to be that young in a P5 game like that, and him being able to throw people around, great power, strength, twitch. Going to be a really great player before he's finished.
Leonard Taylor also popped on Saturday, and I guess you can talk about the entire defensive line because that was a heck of a performance, especially against the run.
Yeah, Leonard was in his wheelhouse. We played him a lot at the nose, and we played him over the center and made him knock him back and then moved him from that spot, either right or left, and it was a good game plan for him. So it kind of played to his strengths, which was really good, and he showed up a lot. But the whole front, he really played well, backers and everybody was included.
It seems like you had a wrinkle with the front. Can you just take us through that and the impact that made?
Yeah, we went 3-3 stack. We've been short on some defensive linemen. We've been beat up a little bit, and I felt in this game, probably Sunday night after watching them on film, in my head, I'm like, okay, we got to get as much speed on the field as we can. So I started thinking, if we put 3 linebackers on the field with 3 down linemen, we can do more. We can drop in coverage differently. We can match up on tight ends. We can bring different pressures. And I've done it before, but it's been a while back that I did it. But it was kind of the same situation. People gave me a lot of motions, a lot of empty sets. And when you get in empty sets, a defensive end can't go out there and play a guy, but a linebacker can. So just watching the film and breaking them down, I'm like, this is the week. They've been working on us for 2 weeks for what they've seen because they had an open week. I said it's a perfect time to jump into it because when it gets to Saturday night, they haven't seen anything that we're going to do. And the kids picked up on it, and a lot of it was similar, but some of it was different. I played a lot more bear with it. So they carried out the game plan well, and they did a great job executing. Coaches did an unbelievable job of getting them to buy into it, and they had some people who had to be unselfish. They didn't play as many snaps as they would have with a regular front. But I thought it was best for us to have a chance to win, and we executed it really well.
What have you seen on film from Virginia's offense?
Well, the last game really sticks out. Quarterback played really good, transfer kid from Monmouth, of course, and a lot of one-hand catches. They played up to the challenge, and they were good at what they do. They get a lot of empty sets. They get in some open sets, and the quarterback runs draw, and he's good at running the draw. He's a little jitterbug up in there, so we're going to have our hands full for sure. So just well executed last week. Early in the year, not as much, so we know we're going to get their best game, though.
I know, obviously, you guys try to treat every opponent the same, treat every opponent with respect, but, it stinks that it might sneak in that this team, a week ago had 1 win, but now that they've beaten the team that you guys know is a handful, does that kind of bring it to the next level, like, yeah, these guys can play?
No, Monday's a Monday, Tuesday's a Tuesday, Wednesday's a Wednesday. Our preparation's the same every week. Last week was a good practice, and we played well. The week before, we played a half game as good as you probably could against that quarterback that was playing against North Carolina. And then we got on our heels a little bit, and the game changed. But each week we prepare the same well. We play with great energy, so it really doesn't matter about the opponent. We just try to focus in on what we do well and practice the way we need to practice. And I like where we're at, and I'm glad they beat North Carolina, because it's not a team that they're going to look over. But we didn't look over Bethune. We didn't look over any team we've played this year. So I think we've been very businesslike.
Obviously, Ruben's having a lot of success as a true freshman. Most of it's been on the outside. What does the future hold for him? Do you see him as a defensive end in the big picture? Does he eventually go inside? Maybe as you get pieces back and maybe advance.
I don't know. I'm not putting any limitations on Ruben. I do think probably if he has a future past college, he may trend toward the inside. But right now I like him where he's at. And he's big and powerful, and them offensive tackles aren't used to seeing that. They're used to seeing guys try and run around them and do counter moves, and now they've got a big guy on the edge, You know, in the NFL, there was guys like Bruce Smith, and there was Reggie White, who gave people problems on the edge because they were so big. Ruben's not that big, but I mean, brings the same type of skill sets, strength, power, and twitch. So I don't know. We're just gonna let it play the way it's playing.
You guys had some key stops when they got inside the 5 in the Clemson game. What did you like about the way the defense kind of bowed up? And
They just showed grit, you know. The last drive, I really wasn't worried too much. After we scored, I was more worried about the other one. I was worried about when the first overtime, I was a little bit worried about that one because I didn't want to put our offense in a situation where they had to make a touchdown. I wanted to hold them to a field goal, so I was a little bit more nervous with that one. But the second overtime, when we scored and made the 2-point conversion, I really didn't think they could score on us twice. And when it got to the 4th down, I even felt like, okay, if they score, they got to come back and score twice in a row on the 4th play and the overtime and the 2-point play. And I just didn't think that they could do it the way we were playing. And it worked out that way. But we definitely had a lot of attitude down there, and that's what it takes. You got to have some grit. And we haven't been great in those situations, this year. We've kind of, when people got down there, they punched it in, but we were locked in, and they played well. I was so proud of them.
Can you talk about the play that Flag made to seal the game?
Yeah, we work on it like different backfield sets. Whichever way the running back set, we'll scream a guy off the edge to chase him, and we'll gap exchange with that linebacker. They happened to go to the big field with it. They actually had a guy that was ineligible into the boundary, and we really needed to take the safety and blitz him off the edge on that side because we didn't need to cover him because he wasn't eligible. And we didn't get that accomplished. So if they would have given the ball, we were soft into the boundary because we didn't set the edge with a blitz. But he pulled it. Thank God he pulled it. And the best thing Flag did was when Wesley was trying to chase, he went forward. He took the air away. He didn't work sideways, and he made the quarterback have to belly back. And when he belly backed, it gave us enough room. Even you could see Wesley running, and James came all the way from the other side and was tracking. I feel if Flag would have missed him, James would have still got him at the goal line. So we had 3 guys really running to the ball. We all were. We was all really worried about a horse collar because you could see him tug on his shoulder, and then he was smart where he didn't, pull him down like that. But very instinctive play by Flag, older guy that's played a lot of football, and for a guy to make a play like that, that's really who you want to make the play. Is a guy that's, kind of been here a while, and he's had his ups and downs, and that was one of the biggest ups you can have right there, beating Clemson at home in double overtime.
Mike, you said Corey's kind of had some ups and downs. How have you seen him develop, since the beginning of fall camp, since the season got started?
He's working, man. He works. He don't complain. He takes coaching from Coach Nicholson, and all those guys have gotten better. Wesley's gotten better. KJ's gotten better. But Flag's been patient when he's in there. He's played well, so he keeps getting better. Of course, Kiko keeps getting better. And you got to have depth at linebacker, and we needed it because we were playing with 3 starters this week, and we had to have guys in rotation. So Flag was one of the guys that had to play the mic and the wheel. And so you got to do a lot of different things when you're playing 2 positions, especially in that 3-3 stack stuff we were doing.
And Mario mentioned that Naturally Kelly's likely out for the remainder of the year. Who do you see stepping up in his place? And obviously departing for the lot. Who else do you want to see step up filling that spot?
I don't know. I don't know who's going to step up. We'll figure it out, and if we got to move some guys outside, we'll do it. If we got to generate some more fronts with different things, we'll do that. So we want to play the best 11. That's the most important thing. I think when you're a coach is you want to have the best players on the field that you can, and sometimes it's the most healthiest players. So we'll go through this week, and then we'll decide on what we'll do at that position. But we've got different choices, and that's a good thing.
Lance, they were targeting you, not you, but they were targeting you guys on the outside, on the perimeter, with the deep ball more than we've seen anybody do this season. Your thoughts on that? I mean, you've got some games coming up. I know you're looking 1 week at a time, and I don't really know who Virginia's receivers are, but you've got some games coming up, I know, with some big receivers and things like that. Did that have a resonating effect at all?
We're going to keep doing what we're doing. You can't double cover people and not have a guy playing the run. So there's some different different matches we can put in there, but they have to prove they can hit them. And it's a 50-50 ball. They've started hitting them. You got to do different things. You might have to switch guys. But the guys that we love them, and they'll keep competing, and one game at a time. I'm not worried about down the road. I'm worried about practicing on tomorrow and, this weekend playing Virginia. So it is what it is. And when we get to games where they have big receivers, we'll deal with it then.
With their production they had at tight end, is there things to clean up there, or is that a guy just kind of making
Nah,
play?
man, that guy made some great catches and some great throws. And anytime a tight end's going free like that and you're in great coverage and they're making plays, you just got to kind of tip your hat. We put a backer on him, we put a safety on him. At the end, on some third downs, we put another DB on him, a corner on him. But still, he had big, he's a big guy. He had length. So we felt like we had to try to make the tight end beat us because we thought they had some good wideouts, and especially with a kid coming back that was healthy. So we felt like if we could make it a tight end game, it was better for us. And, I thought he bobbled it, but it is what it is. I thought we had a safety as well. So, but I'm not an official. I know that because of the week before, they threw flags on me. So I stayed off the field and didn't complain this week.
How's Josh Horton developing? And he's a big guy, true freshman. Can he help you this year?
He's getting better, but when you don't come in the spring of your freshman year, it's hard. There's so much to learn. You go through summer, you go through fall camp, and then you start playing, and your reps start getting cut down. You go in a scout, so it's just hard, whereas the difference between him and Ruben is just from the learning purpose. Ruben was here in the spring, so he went through spring football. Ruben did not look like he does right now this spring, but through going through a spring, then going through summer, then fall camp, he's continued to get better. So Horton's going to develop when he develops. He has gotten better, and he's played a couple snaps, but just not there yet. But we got to keep getting him closer and closer because we might need him down the stretch.
How about the freshman linebackers? You had,
They played some special teams. Hadn't played a lot, on defense except mop-up duty, but they've gotten better. They've really done a good job on the scout team, the look teams they call them. So they've done a great job, and they're going to be some good football players.
KJ, I think, played his most snaps of the season. Was that a function of the 3-3 look?
Yeah,
or-
because we started Wes. Wes is what we called our Hank. He really took over for the Jack into the boundary, and then KJ played the Will, and Kiko played the Mike, and then Flag came in and played both. So they got a bunch of snaps, and we needed them too. And I was kind of a little worried because they play on special teams. So there's a lot of snaps they played the other night. But they held up well. I was proud of them. They did what we needed to do.
Jared playing at end.
Yeah.
How do you do? in
He
that
did
look?
great. A lot of times he played the 4 because we was in 4s a lot. We'd get in 5s, and they was slanting and angling. So Jared's probably more of a 3-tech or a 4 technique anyway. So he's really a little bit further out in the guard, the better he is. And it fit really well what we did. Him and Ruben are both kind of those guys that kind of can do a little bit of both. So.
Anything else for Coach Guidry? Go ahead.
How tough is it for your defense to defend and practice for Short Smith?
We don't go against them a lot, thank God. We'll go against the offense probably about 15 plays a day. At the beginning of practice, we'll go like maybe tempo against them, and then we'll go a team run play action, and then there's always some other type of team that we do. So it's roughly about 4 and 4 with the ones, about 12 to 15, and then with the 2s. So he's mostly on the outside. He didn't play in the backfield against us at all, but he's very talented. All the wide receivers are. We have a hard time with our wide receivers. They're very athletic. They can run really, really well, so we get a lot of good practice against our offense.
What do you think of Corey and Daryl and Jaden in coverage on Saturday?
I thought they did well. We gave up a couple balls. Jaden gave up, one of the fade routes, but other than that, he challenged it really well. To Corey, gave up that last one, which I was kind of disappointed in, but, he always made a big hit on the quarterback, and then Porter's been solid the whole time. He hadn't really been challenged as much, but when he is, he always knocks the ball away. So they've been a solid group. They're very smart, all 3 of them. So it really helps them out. They study film really well. And we've been beat up a little bit at the free safety. Cam hadn't been healthy. I mean, he's been having a bad ankle. He comes off of the concussion deal, and then he's had a bad ankle since. So this morning was the best I've seen him with his ankle. He wasn't taped up, he wasn't hobbling, so I think he'll have a good week this week. He'll be more like the old Cam this week. It's been a while.
Why do you think Porter isn't getting challenged much? Is it luck of the draw, or is he doing good?
No, I don't know. Maybe because he plays the left side. We played a lot of right-handed quarterbacks, because we don't play a field and a boundary. We play a right and a left. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe quarterbacks and then the boundary throw more fade routes to their right. I don't know. He's gotten a lot of in-breaking routes, and he's broken them up. So knock on wood, hopefully he keeps playing well. But I don't know that.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.